Pakistan has rejected allegations from India that it sent missiles and drones to attack 3 of its military stations. The Indian Army said it foiled attacks on its bases in Jammu and Udhampur in Indian-administered Kashmir and in Pathankot in India's Punjab state. Pakistan's defence minister said if his country had attacked, everyone would know it. Tensions have been escalating between the neighbours since a deadly attack which killed 26 people in Kashmir last month. Well, let's speak to our correspondent in Srinagar, Davina Gupta. So tell us the latest on these, what we think are these attacks, or whether we can get any further information for sure about what these attacks were.
But for now, we are relying on official sources from the Indian Army, which made it clear last night, as you mentioned, that Pakistan had fired missiles and drones at 3 of its military installations, and it has been able to neutralize these attacks, a charge that Pakistan has denied. The Indian Army also said there's been no loss of life in these areas so far. But right now, I'm in Srinagar in the Indian-administered Kashmir, surrounded by green hills next to a local lake, which has houseboats which are on a standstill. The shops are shut here. Just in front of me, there's also a yellow security van of the Indian Armed Forces. There are hardly any people on the road, which conveys a sense of a heightened security concern. I can also tell you that it was a long, anxious night for locals here, because a blackout was also enforced in this part of Indian-administered Kashmir, in fears that there could be a further escalation of tension spilling out here. But this morning, the electricity has been restored, but most of the schools and colleges are shut here. The civilian airspace also is closed down, so there are no flights coming in or out of this place, and in several other cities in India in this region. So it is an anxious time for people out here in anticipation of what's going to happen next.
And what efforts are being made to try to de-escalate?
Well, one of the things that the Indian side is doing is also repeating its statement that what happened earlier this week when it targeted 9 sites at the Pakistani side. It said it was in retaliation to the deadly attack which happened on its soil, for which it blamed Pakistan again. And it said that in that one, 26 tourists were killed, but that, it said, was the limited operation on quote-unquote terror infrastructure, and it doesn't want to escalate tensions. At the same time, sending a strong message that it won't back down if Pakistan continues to provoke India in different ways, which again, Islamabad continues to deny. Today, we know that Indian Defence Minister will be meeting several armed forces chiefs, so we'll have to wait and see what comes out of that meeting. So far, we are waiting also to hear if there will be a formal press briefing for journalists to know what comes next.
And in the meantime, when you speak to people there, how concerned are they about the security situation?
Well, I did go to some of those regions at the line of control, which is a de facto border dividing Kashmir between India and Pakistan. And they're extremely concerned because just last night as well, there were reports of an intense artillery shelling in that zone. So when I went there yesterday, I could see that many locals were fleeing and evacuating those areas and going towards safety. One family that I met said that they just had to leave everything overnight. One person in their family couldn't even wear slippers when they were going out and had to walk for hours to reach and seek shelter among their relatives. They also told me that there was a lady in the group who had to grab her 1-month-old child and leave that area immediately because they suddenly heard a loud bang and outside their house. Now, these stories are often the same that we are hearing from that region, which seems to be witnessing the worst of escalated tensions between the two neighbours.
Davina Gupta, thank you very much indeed for that update.